Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour Reading Show. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium, numerologist, healer, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there is always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour Reading Show, Kelly Brickle.
It's great to see you. Hello, welcome everybody to the Psychic Hour Reading Show. It is a full moon. Tomorrow is a new year in Chinese astrology. So there's a lot of newness coming. There's a lot of newness transpiring. Hello, Jessie Cat. Hello, everybody coming on in. And we always talk about the energies of the day, the week. We always talk about energy concepts before we go into readings. So there is a chance to get into a new wave of energy. For the full moon in Aquarius, it's really an invitation to let go and start anew. And there's a lot of detachment things because Aquarius is rather good with that. It's good with individuality. It's good with making sure that things are beating to the tune of their own drum in a way where it's like, I'm going to go do me now. Okay. So there is tremendous release. And then in a fun way too, when we go into 2024, Year of the Dragon, officially on the 10th of February, that reignites like the energy of the dragon. And there is a lot of heart in the energy of the dragon. There's a lot of treasure. There's a lot of strength. So it's calling for you to return back to yourself and really what you've built treasure up in within your own life, whether you've accumulated the energies to be ready to start to producing on a higher level, a more truthful level, more abundant level, or you've been just like, it's go time right now. I've been waiting for the opening of the energy. So whatever goal you have had, or what other goal you're going to make, because some people do a lot of goals with the new year, not on the 1st, but the full moon of the lunar new year. It's a time to write everything down and manifest. So there's these goals where, as you've met them, have you rejected being ready for them? Have you felt insecure? Have you felt anxiety? Have you felt not in alignment? Or have you felt in alignment that this is going to be my best year ever, or I get a lot more things now. I understand things on a different level, so I'm able to integrate. What are you feeling about your goals? And I truly believe energetically, with your intention, with how you function, if you keep returning back to your goal and you're relentless, and it's okay if that relentlessness took 5 years, because you're just like, I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna get back to it. But the closer you get and the more that you don't ignore and the more that you engage, so that relentlessness of meeting that goal teaches you exactly what you need to know. It takes you in the direction you're supposed to go from that goal, or it builds off that goal. So meet your goals, be associated with your goals, and you're going to enact the energy that you need. Okay? Whether it changes or whether it is a blossoming. Know what you want and build off that. And I understand sometimes people want with detachment. They're just like, my wants are not involved with it. I'm detaching myself from that outcome. But in terms of what we can just control for us, we do have individual wants that we don't attach to other people, that we don't attach to other things that are beyond our control. But just for us, there are things that we have to cultivate with what we want, and that's how we manifest. So We're going to open up the space for readings in just a moment. If you have any questions about what's happening with your energy, psychic mediumship questions, or like actual like reading life questions, where we'll definitely stroll into, pop down your questions, pop down your birth date and your numbers, because we do numerology readings here as well as psychic readings. I'm going to pull a card, look at your chart, or just feel and see into things. And that's how I work. So put down your topics and everything. Jessica is saying, actually, this whole January to me and Joe has been so crazy and negative. Yeah, a lot of people. It's so funny. Well, that's not funny, but I saw a meme that somebody put up and said like, I'm done with this year of January. Can we start the new year already, or something like that? Like, woof, this January has been a full year already, and it kind of feels like that. It kind of feels like January. And a little bit even now is like a container of itself where we're not quite ready to go. And so I'm hoping that really when things kick off with this new um, moon and or the new changes and everything in the lunar calendar, how things move into place where yeah, things just give us our freshness back. Okay, so pop down your questions, pop down if you would like a numerology reading versus a card reading. So hello, Jennifer. Hello, Sylvie. Hello, everybody. So this is the place to do it. This is the first time that I've done readings in about a month. So I was away like with family, and yeah, there was like a passing with my family. So, and just having to take care of that, and family comes first. Just family comes first. So I'm back in action with readings and getting back into things. So thank you for waiting and being here with me as I have my first show again in the readings department. So, okay, we have a question here. All right, I'm gonna just put it up on the screen. So for Jessie Cat, all right, so I have two charts, November 9th and 6/2. So I'm gonna do the math on that. Okay. Love it. So, all right. Yes. So, so you want both separately, correct? You want both separately? Just making sure. So, attitude 8 for Joe, personal day 2, and then we have life path 9, I believe. That is right. Yep, that's right. Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll focus on Joe. All right. So Joe being attitude 8. The great thing is with an attitude 8, as long as they are like surrendering in a way where they know that the energy is changing. As long as they kind of are like, okay, I'm capable, I am sharp, I have other opportunities, whatever is going to happen, I'm just going to relax. There is a power enacted within them because eights are incredibly perceptive. They are incredibly adept. They specialize in excellence. So there's a lot to be understood with what's going on. And to understand it from a very technical and practical level of, all right, I might be losing my job because of the company has these things going on within it. And it's not certain. the logic of it is it's not certain. So I'm going to relax in the places that I can relax and hold strong. And then I'm going to look at my options in other areas. So, and that's the number one thing. It's like relax and look at your options. Look at your options with staying and look at your options beyond staying, because it's really like a waiting game right now, and the stress can eat you up. And there's so much to be researched from this specific scenario of what's going on within the company, that you can just be like, I saw it coming, as well as I knew what to do to pivot because I'm a very valuable asset. So I made sure that I could pivot into my next move rather than being like, this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening. Um, or I'm upset with the unprofessionality, the lack of preparation on the part of my company. Because I feel like there's a lot of things that the company is kind of juggling where they're not being very forthcoming, and they were kind of sloppy on their part, which created, if you can understand that the company was ill prepared, and then there was ramifications for that, and now because of that, people are suffering. And so it's not like it was necessarily personal responsibility, it was on the company's end, and they didn't handle things quick enough. And the problem grew bigger where it could have been controlled. And the communications has been very choppy about the situation, even though it's known. So I just feel like he has to, okay, so you can understand this. So he has to be the sharp one, and he has to be the calm one within the storm, because there's a storm going on within the company. So keep your options open, relax, see what's going on with the company, just observe. Don't just trust what is being told to you, observe. Um, and so use this strength of who you are to have confidence where, things are going to pass, or I need to pivot into my next move. And so as long as you don't freak out about what you can't control, because you kind of can't control this one, because this is the storm the company made, um, I feel like it's gonna be okay. Like, I feel like no matter kind of what happens, you're gonna be okay as long as you remain calm and look at other options and you just step into the next one, okay? So, I don't know, I feel like, again, as long as you're calm, you kind of get unaffected by this one, okay? And that's actually really good news, but you have to keep a cool head, and you gotta do, um, the stuff to look out for you. Okay, do not wait on the company. Look out for you first. Be observant. It's all this stuff, and that's how you can really shine with 8 energy in this placement too. Let's see as well. So you're at life path 9, okay, but then you're in a cycle of 7. Okay, so we're going into a year for you that really is going to make you be honest with yourself of what you really want. Like, I don't think the job was really cutting for you in the first place. Like, I just don't think it was. And it's like sometimes it takes additional things to make us go, well, was this really worth it to me in the first place? Is this really worth it to me in the first place? Even if I'm being offered, a shred of security within this, and it's not just going quickly of, you're not here anymore. Because I don't feel like this is going to be a quick. I feel like it's kind of going to be drawn out what's going on. So it's like, did you really even want to be here in the first place? And I don't think that was a resounding yes. I think there was, perks and stuff like that. But I think it's time to really figure out what you want in the job department and be brave and make some moves. And this isn't cutting it. The leadership isn't cutting it. And you need to be kind of within your own leadership to make that decision for what works for you, because you're strong enough, you're smart enough, and you're perceptive enough to find something that's better managed. So get into a different department or get into a different company. Don't be doing the same old under these people. And don't wait for them to let you know about their mistakes and then you don't have a choice. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. That's what's coming up. I really think you're gonna be fine. There's gonna be like periods where you really have to like sit with this and it might freak you out, but I really feel like you're gonna be fine. You have enough to go into the next. So don't freak out. It's going to come faster than expected, and if it's not coming so fast, don't freak out because it's still going to come fast. Okay, grand scheme of things, all this gets resolved quite fast. So don't freak out if it's like a couple weeks or even a month, and you're just like, oh my god, this is not fast. It's going to be very fast. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Jennifer and Melanie. And then Sylvie, if you're still around, just let me know because I know people pop in and out if they're on the beginning of the broadcast. So you just let me know. So I'll do Melanie and then I'll do Jennifer. And oh, hi. Hi, Melanie. Hello. Oh, and Sylvie's here too. And Melanie's just saying hi. So I don't know if she dropped in for a reading. Sometimes I'm just going by and seeing hi from people, and I love it. Okay. So Sylvie, what kind of reading were you looking for? And I'm going to pull some cards for Jennifer. We're looking for like numerology or psychic. So pop down your numbers or just ask your question, or I can do a general. You said you wanted a reading, so I'll just go wherever I go, unless you have a preference. Psychic. Okay, cool. So I'm going to pull for, all right, psychic general, please. So I'll go to you right after Jennifer. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards for Jennifer and I'll go to you, Sylvie, and big hugs to you, Melanie. Okay. 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 You got some really good cards. You got some really good cards. You got the card that is showing times are changing for the future placement. So there's a lot of things in flux and opening up and trusting what you've seen and heard. And the wealth and finance card. So it's basically talking about that there's a lot of things happening for your own benefit, and there is a timeline where things don't just boom happen. You have to trust yourself and you have to know that everything is working out for the best. But there is an aspect of, you will be taken care of, and the things that are moving forward for you to evolve within like the wealth department, career department, things are moving for you to have more. Okay, so there was like additional stability that was cultivated, and things are moving for you to have more, but you have to like trust and you have to read the signs and you have to listen to what's best for yourself. And right now, it's about getting acquainted with what you will allow and what you would like to do about that. And then the doorway is really open for how you would like to change that or to be a part of the change that moves forward. And this is kind of like in like a 4 month, like 3-4 month period where the times are changing card. Like I'm seeing kind of really jumps forward. So like 5 months from now, you will really be in that change. So we're in so that would be July. In July, you're really going to be in that new energy, and you're gonna be like, this is different, but this is better. Okay. Initially, it was really cool because when the cards came in, I pulled them turned over, and that's like very rare. Usually, I will, they might be upside down or they might be in a certain way that catch my eye, but they were like backwards in the deck. So when I flipped them over, they were just blank slates. And to me, blank slates always indicate like you have options, more options than you realize, you have more power than you realize. Like you're at a point within your life where you're not bound by the things that you once were bound by. You've transcended lessons where you're not a prisoner of circumstance quite like you once were. And so you can actually choose and have different things easily. And so I felt like this applied to now, and I felt like this applied to how it's going to be in the 5 months from now. So you get to call more shots than you realize. You're in a better place than you were in a lot of different areas, and just like really celebrate that. And energy is very valuable. People respond to energy. So if you are feeling in your power, if you are feeling within the place of, I'm leading my energy, I'm responsible for my energy, and I am enjoying my life, and I'm sharing that wealth with you energetically as well, I feel like people are really going to respond to you as a leader and a person of wisdom in a different way. So it's another opening of energy. Not only do you have within you, but you're going to start to share and affect other people with. And that will give you another stream of abundance of what's coming directly to you as well as what you're creating. So more of the newness. But I feel like you have like a key to the city with that realization. More doors are opening. Okay. That's good. Feels good. Jennifer says, I'm still working on my business plan, just on hold now with a medical issue. Okay. Well, I feel like things are going to be okay. And I feel like take what I said and understand that all that applies even if things are a little bit difficult. I feel like with the medical issue that you talked about, it's going to slow things down. But as long as you have like the self care in place and you have the knowing of kind of what is happening for you personally outside of the circumstances meeting you, I feel like you heal a little bit quicker. Okay? So even though this medical issue is lingering, I do feel like a lot of new energy is opening up. A lot of things are happening for good, and it's based on what you feel like you deserve and how you feel like you're worth it, rather than so much the business plan of the mental, let me like figure out the best strategy solely. Okay. So this is like a feeling that you radiate, and your boundaries, as well as, like I've come this far and this is what I stand for right now. Yes, I feel like you are much calmer. And I feel like that is helping with the speed of the recovery, but it's going to linger a little bit. But it's okay. Sometimes things linger because we learn a couple of things along the way. And then if anything else hits again, we recover even faster. Okay. So, in the grand scheme of things, pretty darn quick, but this is going to linger a little bit. Don't let it affect you. Continue to do healing work. You're in a good place. Okay. Sylvie, General, please. All right. Let me just make sure I have no other cards just like flipped up, because I thought that was very interesting. Apparently my deck's all mixed up. Like, usually doesn't happen because I make sure the cards are all doing what they need to do. So here we go. I think that's right. All right. So got that sorted. Sylvie, and then I'll go to Melanie. And then let's see. Hello, Aspen. Hello. Much love to you too. Okay, Sylvie. Okay. So, Sylvie, what's coming up for you is to work on your physical health and your grounding, because I do feel like that is complicating quality of life at times. Sometimes we can get overwhelmed because our body is like dysregulated, and so it creates like um stress to come in more easily, like you know lack of sleep, or sometimes if we don't have routine with like food, um that can just make what maybe normally you'd be like, okay, this is a stressful day, into situations where you're just like, ugh, I feel so out of whack. I feel so out of whack. And so it's calling for you to be stronger within your body and be more disciplined within your body so you can like heal and restore properly, because that's been an issue. Like when you get sick, it's like there's not the repair that's there, and then there's just too much stress. So I'm feeling like stress. And then I'm feeling just a little bit overwhelmed in general, just a little bit overwhelmed in general. And so you got the card moving forward. You got it in a placement where this is like something that's in flux right now. And the moving forward card is all about allowing us to transcend to the next part of where we need to go, in a fashion where you feel like, I don't feel burdened, I don't feel stressed the same way I once was, okay? And this is a time, like, I feel this month more so than the past months. I feel like the past months have been a little bit more stressful. That's why I'm bringing that up. This month, you feel like there's an invitation to do something different. So it's kind of like serendipitous, where you're like, okay, general reading, how's my energy going to be? Is there going to be a shift? And it's like, yes, there is a shift. Um, you got a card like the golden ticket card. Okay. And you got it attached to the physical energy in the placement of now. So there is additional support for you to like feel more physically aligned and having better health within your body. There's a lot of additional support that will allow you to take care of the things that you need to take care of. And so I do feel like it's very much attached to health if you can understand these things. But as long as you are trying, there is ease this month. There's been a lot of feelings, and forgive me, this is very feeling based of, I just want to, relax and be happy, and I just want things to go like easier and well. And there's a shift, okay? Like there's a shift where it is not just all on your shoulders. And so there's a lot of ease coming forward in feeling vitality again and excitement again. I want to pull one more card, just kind of to pull this all together a little bit more. And okay, so the time game card. And so the time is now, the shift is happening. Um, the number one thing I just keep getting is it's just like health gets better, okay? Sometimes we're just frustrated because the timing is not exactly right, and we're coming out of those cycles. So keep on track. All right. So, Melanie, I'm going to go to you. Hello, Lizzie. Welcome. For everybody coming on in, you can pop down your numbers, and that's how I go into your chart. You can ask for a general reading, I can pull cards from you for you, or I can just like feel or tune into what I'm getting. Okay. Sylvie, okay, I've been looking after sick parents. Okay, so the health was regarding connected to family too as well. Can you understand though? It's like, I understand that you have a lot of reserve because you're helping others, but I just feel like, I'm dragged down to, even though I'm so grateful. I'm dragged down to, even though I'm so grateful. And um, you're in an area of life where things are getting a little easier with some of the scheduling of looking out for your parents. Because I'm just aware of like sleep and schedule and how you would normally kind of balance things. That was just kind of messed up because of what was going on within your life. And there you're going to have like a little bit of additional help where your schedule can be a little bit more easier and timing can open up for you to do things differently, and we're moving into things that are better, not as difficult where then your health suffers or your stress goes up because it already is so focused on others. You can understand that. Okay, absolutely, thank you. All right. So I'm going to Melanie. Okay. So Melanie, what's coming up is I got the Master of Your Own Fate card. And this is about like you stepping up within your life and making some decisions and understanding that like you're the only one that can save you, and you're the only one that can really make the next move. So it's about just doing more than thinking and understanding that you really have a lot of luck on your side, and you there's a reason why you want to do it in the first place, and you're like very divinely supported because you felt like this is a better call. Like I feel like I need more of this in my life. And so you can already understand this. So it's basically saying you have to make the leap because it goes well because it's going to teach you what you need to know. It's going to take you where you need to go. Okay. Um, and I feel like you know this, but there's a lot of anxiety, and you're like, well, just, it's coming, it's coming. It's just like, yes, but you gotta just make a commitment to a certain time where you're going to do this, or if there's no timeline attached, that you're going to be committed to just making that leap. Okay. So there has to be the action of, and I feel like going forward, this will complicate things with family. Okay. It will be really good for the family. It will give you, um, it will show you to be like a role model and be within your own power, but it's going to cause you to have more on your plate. So you're going to be like, did I get myself in a little bit over my head? Was this really the right fit? And the answer is all yes, because it's taking you into what you need to know about yourself. Like there's been a lot of change to set you up to be ready for this next move. And I feel like you've been waiting and it hasn't really made you happy. Okay. If you can understand this, you're just like, I want circumstances to be right. So I'm going to wait. And you've been trying to like focus on making yourself feel better or like improving yourself. So the circumstances, again, will be more favorable. But all those things, if you can understand, Melanie, have left you kind of feeling a little bit bored and feeling like there's something missing. Okay. So it's like stepping out, being yourself. It has a positive, in fact, impact on family, but it is going to change the way that you do things, and you're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed, but it's for your evolvement. So you just put single parent suffer with depression, anxiety, but started a new job. Okay, this is good. There's an aspect within your job though where you're not stepping up completely in the way that you would like to, if you can understand that. Because I feel like you've made a new move, but you actually want to make another one. This isn't the right job per se. It's better. It's better. You'd prefer to do things differently. You'd actually prefer to have a different job, but you're grateful for this one. Can you understand this? There's something with the job that needs to be tweaked, changed. You're not showing up in a way where like this is really what you're looking for. Can you understand this with the job? Okay. I'm just gonna wait for a second, and if not, I'm just gonna keep going on. And I just feel like there's something within the job that hasn't been enacted. There could be an opportunity within the job that you're like, oh, that's extra responsibility. Um, but there's something that you're doing within the job that you're holding back in, okay? And you need to go forward with. And that energy of holding you back is not allowing you to feel fully 100% comfortable where you're at. Okay. Yes, I wanted childcare, but in retail, thank you. Thank you for understanding that. So it's like, this isn't, like I said before, this isn't the right job for you. I want you to keep making sure that you are in a place that honors you and to keep pushing. It's going to be really good for your family, even though you're not sure if you can take on that that role. You have to honor yourself and know that you can, and you have to put yourself in an environment that actually forces you to step up to the plate because you can do it. You just have to put yourself in an environment where people can show you the way as you're doing it. Just show up and the rest will happen. You'll be supported in the rest. Just show up and get to where you need to go. Okay. And if there's a segue to get to that point where you're like, I can be around children, I can help children. Um, but let's say I don't have these credentials. Let me get into a job where I have some of those things I can do as I'm still working about what I want to do with those credentials. Okay. So this is going to help you a lot. Don't stay where you are. Just be grateful for what it is doing momentarily. Okay. That's what's coming. Making sure I don't click on something as I'm talking. And there we go. Apparently I clicked on some things. All right. So then, hello, Jesse. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Nina. Okay. So we're going to go to Nina. Thank you, Jessie Cat. It's great seeing you. Much love to you back. All right, Nina. All right. I feel like, Nina, there's a lot going on around you. Okay. You're at like a very pivotal point within your life where you're like, I need more. Okay. And this is in multiple locations. It's like, I want to do something different with my job. I feel like I'm not being supported. I feel like I want better friendships. I feel like I want to understand my spirituality. I feel like I need to understand my intuition. I feel like I'm ready to put myself out there and do different things, even though it's a little overwhelming and scary. But like, if you can understand this, Nina, you're like at a place within your life where you're just like a lot has to change, and I'm ready not to just do the same old. I'm ready, and I am doing things differently. Okay, and I am just seeing how it goes because life is crazy. Okay, okay, so you understand this, all right? And so it's very, very good that you are putting yourself out there. And it's really like a place of vulnerability and humbleness when we're changing so much and we're saying, I would like to be different and I am starting the process of it. I don't know how to do all of it, but I'm putting myself out there and I'm just knowing that it's going to change. And so during this, there's going to be a lot of like confusion, and people too as well are going to be learning about you. And since you have such this an openness in your learning, I think people sometimes are going to kind of wonder about your own genuineness, because they're just like, wow, like she's so open and willing and willing to try things. Why? Like, why? Like, usually people aren't this open, or they're not. It's like you're open to friendship genuinely, right? And people are like, why are you so open, right? And they're kind of like, what's going on? And it gets you into a situation, you're like, this, I'm going with the universe, but I'm kind of, I don't want to trust people, but I need to know how to do things differently. So I know I'm going to find my people. Okay? So it's creating situations where you're going exactly where you need to go, but it's going to show you kind of who aren't your people, as well as you need to have faith and keep going. So I'm seeing that there's like a lot of hiccups right now, where sometimes when we're healing, all this stuff comes up and you're like, why is it getting worse? Like, I'm putting myself out there. Wouldn't it get better because I'm being more authentic? And it's just like all this stuff is rising up to be healed. And all the stuff is being like filtered out. So you can have just that. But I'm aware this year, heads up, and a little bit more going forward, there's going to be a lot of confusion, where some of the decisions that you're going through and making are going to feel like it's not working, but it is. So just as long as you're continuing to do the spiritual work and growing your intuition and growing your emotional and mental understanding of yourself, and doing self-care, you can go and understand, all right, I'm still evolving in this way. Wow, I'm healing a lot in that way. This is a process, okay? So don't get discouraged. Just know, like, wow, I'm really kind of in the process, and it's not an isolated thing. Like, I'm healing as other people are around and they're teaching me things, and I'll get to where I need to go, but this is going to be a little rocky for a couple of years, okay? It's like finding your tribe is not going to be just as easy, or finding the right job is not going to be just as easy, okay? Um, a lot of things are in flux, okay? I work with the homeless lots. Makes sense with what you're saying. That's cool that you are with in such a health a selfless job. That's what I'm trying to say. That's really amazing. I feel like you're being taught a lot through that, um, just in itself. But there's other areas of your life where you want to have more altruistic behaviors within, and you'll find those people and you'll find that community. It's just, again, there's just a lot of things that have to be filtered out. And I wish I could be more specific on that, but it's like a changing period. Like I'm talking to people like right now within the readings, and I'm just like, oh, there's an opening period, the energy has died down, or there's gonna be a change. And right now there's a lot just being kicked up. So just go through it. And the number one thing is, when you listen to your heart, you can't go wrong, even if the outcomes seem wrong. They're tailor made for you. So keep following your heart, okay? And you will find glimmers of people and experiences along the way. They might be in your life for more of a short time, even though they're great people. And as you continue to go forward within the next couple of years, you're going to have more long term connections. Okay. In the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to have more long term connections as people come into your life, rather than sometimes glimmers of wonderful people, but short term connections. So just keep going, and there are sprinklings of gifts along the way. Just know that there's a lot of change. Okay. All right. Just taking these cards. Oh, yep. And another thing is changes within health. I think that's already going on right now. Just focused on you first. That's one of the major things. That's okay. So I understand now. One of the major things of why this is in flux is there needs to be much more emphasis on health. There's been like little things that have come up and you've made adjustments, but it hasn't healed the core problem. And so this is physically and emotionally and things like that. But additionally, you have to like really, really work on balancing the body, and it's like your spirit's kind of waiting around for your body to be in alignment with your mind a little bit more. And that's going to be the great opener. Okay. So there's something very important about that. So you need your body and mind on board for there to be just a really great change and opening. And even I think that's will enact like a move, even like a physical move and change as well. Okay. So Sarah. Okay, Sarah. I'm going to go to you. And then remember, hi, Angie. Angie. And then Aspen. Okay, so let's see here. I'm just going. And then Angela. Okay. So everybody, if you want a reading, make sure you pop down that you want a reading. Some people are coming in and saying hi, and then I'm just scrolling up and making sure I didn't miss anybody prior. Okay, so we'll go to Aspen and Sarah. Sarah, I'm going to pull for you. Okay, so, all right, with Sarah, I'm getting that there's been a lot of pressure on yourself to be in a better state. And like there's been an overwhelming pressure to perform within your job, your career, of you going, I need to be a certain way, I need to do these things a certain way, but it's making me feel like I don't have that type of energy right now, and I don't know exactly what to do about it because I just feel not where I want to be. And I feel like this is like more of an emotional thing when I say I don't feel like I am where I need to be. I feel like there's a lack of fulfillment. Like jobs fine, right? You're not looking for the fulfillment in the job department. You're looking for the fulfillment in relationship department. And things are not quite lining up the way that you want it to be. And it's like actually leading you into situations where like you're putting out your energy but it's not being reciprocated, so there's a lot of discord and connecting to people and finding um, the right relationship. So if you can understand that, Sarah, if you're still in the room, and really it's a reminder because you get the spiritual force card attached to this, where you have to do a lot of the work to restore yourself and to feel that fulfillment. So the lack of fulfillment through like love in the relationship department has to be fulfilled through like love with how you're giving your appreciation back to yourself. I know it's like you're just like, yeah, I have time with myself, but I want to be doing something else. That this is why I'm trying to do something else, like, not just spend time with myself. But it's like, okay, you're saying yes in the past, but I'm single for a while. Yes, but can you understand how like you are looking for someone and you're not really finding what you want to find? And it's like really making you feel like want. And it's making you have a lackluster feeling within life. So it's like showing up to work, there isn't like a lot of motivation within that, and you're given responsibilities and you don't have the energy necessarily to rise to the occasion within work because other areas of your life are depleted. Okay, so this is something that is cycling within your energy, and that longing is setting you up for more experiences where you're wanting to give your energy to somebody and they're not giving it equally as back. So this is a relationship thing, and also like when you like somebody or connect to somebody and maybe it's not going into relationship capacity quite yet, you feel like you've been burned, or you feel like, well, this is why I don't want to, connect to people. Okay, so there's a lot of healing and rectifying that has to be done with what you're looking to experience within your life, like with boundaries with people, but like actually putting in a lot of self-care into you, so you just come in with a different energy of, hey, like, I'm taking care of me, and I'm so clear that I know the people who are worth it, and I'm so calm and I'm so grounded that, like, honestly, I'm really okay. I'm really okay, and I know that I'm going to attract somebody who's okay too. um And this comes from like the spiritual fulfillment through love and the soul fulfillment through love of self, as then it radiates forward and we create situations where other people are responding to our energy rather than us hoping and reaching out and feeling dejected that things are not coming to us the way that we want to come to us. So, spiritual force, self healing, self love, self empowerment, energy restoration, energy vitality, feeling connected. And those are the things that get restored. Okay. Yes. Yes, Sarah. So I'm talking about how you are feeling and how you are longing for connection. Okay. So if you go back, you'll hear me talking about how you're interacting with people or how you feel depleted sometimes, because even though we're not in a relationship, we will wish or seek things out a certain way or feel dejected if a certain situation doesn't go to our liking because we already feel like we are not getting what we want in another capacity with the way that we are receiving connection with people. Okay. So hopefully what I said makes sense in the playback. Just like read it from that perspective and let me know if that makes sense. Okay. So let's see. Aspen, we'd love some insight on the numbers from the other day. Gotcha. So 5-9. Well, both of you have attitude fives. So it creates a very natural melding of the minds. There is like an aloofness between both of you with the way that you communicate and the way that you give each other space that allows for a mixture of like respect and wonder, because the way that you operate is you're not like, okay, I need to know what's going on. Like you do in your head, but the way that you actually approach things, you give each other a lot of space. And so let's see here. Your one of you is a life path 6. I believe that, I don't know which 5-9 or 9-5 is you, but one of you is a life path 6. Um, and the other one is a life path 9, if that's correct. Oh no, is a 5, a life path 5. Yep. I'm just going to see on that, just double check. Yeah. One of you is a life path 5, and the other one of you is 6 plus. My brain and math are going like all over the place. All right. I'm going to slow things down because apparently my brain wants to do a lot because I'm in that 5 energy. So I'm just, because I was doing it like too quick. So attitude 5 plus, yeah. So one of you is an attitude 2, and the other one of you is a life path. See, I can't even talk. Life path 2, and the other one of you is a life path 5. So that's where the difference lies. That's where the difference lies, because you having a 5 and someone else having a 2, it makes for a different need for the evolvement of life. So a 5 energy, and you have that within your personality and the way that you connect and kind of interact. It has all this freedom and just be like, do whatever you need to do. And the 2, and with that life path 2, that's how someone is evolving into being and what they need continuously for their life. They need a lot of attention. They need a lot of connection, physical connection, and they need to be very dialed into their partner. Okay. So even if there's like a lot of space that they give their partner, they need to be very dialed in, like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? All right. And then those things get answered, and then space is given. But if those questions are not answered, or if there isn't that connection of like emotional depth, that means that person hasn't granted you access in that department. Because a life path 2, when they're open with people, they're very emotional. They're very forthcoming with the depths of who they are. And usually for the receiver, the person would be surprised, like, wow, you're really an emotional person, or wow, like, um, the lengths of what you see within me, or what you are willing to do with me, or how you want to connect with me. Most people don't want to have that type of intimacy. Okay. So it really tests the partnership about what level of emotional intimacy and attachment each person is ready for. And a 5 has different needs than a 2. So a 5 can feel very smothered by the 2, and in return, the 2 is very selective of who they want to allow in. A 5 is more, let's try it out. Let's see how it goes. This is wonderful. Let's experience it. Don't overthink it. The 2 is like, I overthink everything. I'm only letting you into that side of me if I give you access. So um, either I've given you access and don't hurt me because I do things differently from you, or I haven't given you that access and I'm just kind of seeing how you are as a person, and that hasn't meant that I've given you the green light. Okay? So these are dynamics. It's like you communicate the same way, but you actually want different things because your life paths are very different for how you feel fulfilled and connected. Okay? So some of these things are at play. Some of these things are at play. When someone has a life path 2 versus a life path 5, the chemistry can be off the charts though, because the energy is working from opposite spectrums. So you guys are bouncing energy back and forth, and you're like, I'm like this, but I'm like that. And it's like, it kind of creates like a chase, a little bit like cat and mouse dynamics. Um, there just has to be a lot of honesty here in order for it to work. So if the communication lines are not open, and you're not having a lot of honesty about your differences, even though you are good communicators when you do communicate, and it's easy when you actually do get around to it. If that's not happening and if that's shut down, that is a very clear sign that the energy is not open and there is a resistance at play, and you can't force things. So you have to say there's a resistance if there is not active communication, if there is not active interest to spend time with one another to sort out some of the hiccups, even though the chemistry is off the charts. we have a problem here. Okay. And things cannot evolve, and relationships need to evolve. Even when you have like twin flames, right? There needs to be an involvement of the energy to express itself. So you two grow, you two flourish. If the energy is not expressing itself, it's getting condensed and it's going to have more and more like chaos energy and confusion, and there's already resistance. So be very careful with that, I would say. And that is what's coming through within the charts. Okay. So yeah, you're a triple five. That makes sense. And then second one is mine. The 98 is you. So if you are the 98, then yeah, because you're the triple five, right? Um, that makes sense. He's not as open usually, but with me, he has been very open. So yeah, so that's good. So if he's very open, then he is feeling the connection, but there just has to be active talk about differences and needs. And as long as you have that, that's a good sign. And if that's not there, heads up. Okay. That life path 2 and that life path 5, very different needs. So be very, very cognizant about how you connect and how you can support each other. All right. So let's see. Oh, and Sarah, I'm reading one of your comments. You said this happened 4 years ago. Um, yes, I can understand how what I'm saying happened prior, but I'm saying how it is lingering with how things are dealt with now in the scope of relationships, in the scope of how you deal with people in general. So, how you just connect and what you feel fulfilled with within human connection. Okay. So, let's see. Everything you said, Aspen, everything that you said is very on point. It's hard to reach him at times, but when we were communicating, it's good, but when there's space, it's a weird feeling. Yeah, so I would say address the weird feeling within the space, and then you're going to see very instantly if that person is comfortable addressing that. And if they're not, um, and they don't take some type of understanding for how like you want to resolve something, it will continue to happen again if they don't have that understanding of how you need to communicate and resolve certain things. Um, and if that isn't in place, you will continuously want things resolved that you feel like he doesn't have time or attention to give. And that will continue to create dynamics where you can't be supported. So I would say, like, address it. Address like, "Hey, these things are on my mind. Um, let me know when you are free because I want them addressed, but I want to respect your time." And just make sure they are addressed, and ask him to be open with if he's feeling stressed out with giving extra time or energy on certain days, and understand each other's limits and boundaries. Like, that's very, very healthy. And if that person is feeling awkward or shutting down when you're asking them for communication or to set their own limits and boundaries, then there's going to be a lot of hiccups. There's going to be a lot of hiccups. So it's just addressing the individual and collective maturity of this blossoming um, connection. Okay, and sometimes we have to wait and be patient, but we shouldn't have to suffer within how we wait and are patient. We need to communicate if something's not going right. And clearly, you're getting overwhelmed by not being sure on how you're overwhelming him. So there needs to be communication, just a better type, and you guys can figure that out. Okay. Will do. I know this isn't relationship therapy, but how would you word it? I have been giving him not attention to play it cool, but we are honest to the point of talking. Yeah, just like I said, you just got to talk about it and just be like, hey, let's come up with some boundaries of what works for each one of us. Um, if I need to give you space and time, that's great. But if I need things resolved and you care about how I feel, then I need to talk to you. And then you just let me know what kind of time you have. Simple as that. And how someone responds to you shows them about what they're capable of. Maybe they haven't learned things. Maybe they want to learn things. Maybe they have you as a priority. Maybe they don't have you as a priority, but it's going to show you things. Okay. So I'm just going to pull one more card and then we'll close the night. So Angie, let's see what comes up. This is going to be a GPS year for me. I mean, if you have a guidance system on, that's awesome. If you feel like you are able to listen to the guidance system, you know things are good. Okay, so Angie, what's coming forward is a mixture of the growing forest card, which is great because that means new beginnings. I'm doing what I need to do to take care of myself. I'm tending to my garden. I'm shooting up because of that. I have strong foundations, and then it's a mixture of I feel like there's a lot going on. So what's coming in is just keep doing the work. You're doing a lot of hard work, and sometimes you don't feel like you're supported, but at the end of the day, be very clear about what you want and go, according to me, with what I can do, I'm taking care of my end of things. And so, since I am, and I'm very clear and focused on that, I'm going to ask, like, spirit, I'm going to ask the universe for help. So, whatever you believe in, like God, the universe, anything, and I want you to say, hey, can you show me how you're supporting me? Can you show me how you're supporting me? And can you show me how I can let go a little bit more so you can support me? So I don't have to be as stressed and overwhelmed. And so I'd like you to kind of like task yourself if you want to. It's all up to if you want to, with just talking to your team of guides and asking them to show how you're supported and see what happens. And I think that a little bit more knowing that your part of things are taken care of is going to give you more peace. More peace. And then you can figure out how you want to address your actual earth team with the support that you need additionally. Okay? But know that you're supported by the spirit world and to actually have an active relationship with that. Thank you for understanding that. You say you feel I don't feel like I'm supported by the universe. I'm almost invisible. No, you definitely are. You definitely are. And to actually start to have a relationship with your team to show you otherwise. Because like I could have something at my disposal 24/7, but if I don't know where to look or if I don't know how it sounds, how do I get in touch with that, right? And you just have to practice and be open to what it sounds like, what it looks like, what it feels like to have someone nudging you, what it feels like in your heart, or wherever you get the intuition, like you might, all of a sudden feel a tickle in your nose, or someone putting their hand on your shoulder, or you see a color, or a favorite song plays in your head, but you need some type of relationship where you go, I'm getting a message right now. And it should actually be more than just the message. There needs to be a relationship cultivated with your guides. So sit down, meditate, and just see what happens, and continue to show up and see what happens. And you're going to be very surprised. In fact, if you could do that for 21 or 30 days consecutively, 5 minutes, just in meditation, asking your guides to show you a little bit more about who they are, how you can work with them so you experience being more supported, I think your life would change. You're already a very hard worker, so show up, work hard to learn about the connection, and you'd be surprised what happens. All right. I'm giving you a lot of love, and thank you everybody for being here today. And I'm going to be seeing you next week. On Wednesday, we have Debbie Romero. We're going to be doing Valentine's Day readings, and we're going to be doing a show and talking and stuff. So we're going to be giving back the love for a reading show and just celebrating love. Like, love comes in so many forms. It's not just romantic when we talk about love. Love is a part of life force, and it's the reminder that there is no others. There's just us. And so how do we want to improve us? And how do we have more understanding of who we really are in such a beautiful, beautiful light with the vibration of love? Okay. So thank you, Angie. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, everybody, for coming on in. I will see you next week. I'm going to make sure I get the numerology in this week, the numerology hour. So you probably will see me tomorrow, actually, because I want to make sure I get the numerology hour. And it's been hard to slip it in every week, but we're going to do it. We're going to get back on track. With that said, please go with love, luck, light, and don't forget to live, everybody. Take care. I will see you next week. Goodbye.